kicker Matt Anderson is 8 points away from the school's all-time scoring record.
So you're just hoping for a lot of PATs? Or are you hoping for 3 field goals?
I'm hoping for whatever we need to win, whether it's PATs, whether it's field goals, either way. And I'm not too focused. I mean, him saying right now is, I didn't know it was 8 points until just now. I haven't really been keeping up with it. My mentality is just going out and trying to make kicks every game. So whether it's PATs or field goals, whatever I'm asked of, I'm happy with.
We asked Coach Wilcox, what you guys do over there. He's like, you guys don't want to know what they do. It's really cryptic.
Yeah, it's some secret stuff. Yeah, there's a secret recipe.
Secret handshakes and practicing golf swings.
Not sure about the golf swings.
You excited to kick in the altitude in Colorado?
Yeah, it's fun. I love going on the road. I love going to different stadiums, but going to Colorado will be a blast. I went to Utah 2 years ago, and that was a lot of fun. So I'm excited to go to Colorado, and I know Gabe is too. Gabe's been crushing his kickoffs, and just getting him in some altitude. I mean, those things will be, 10 yards out the back of the end zone, and then, hopefully get some long field goal attempts.
And plus, I mean, he's Canadian, so it'll be cold. It'll be brisk.
It'll be sunny though. There'll be some nice sun, so hopefully it won't be too cold. But at the end of the day, it'll be a fun environment.
Pat said that you gave him some advice and kind of steered him in terms of majoring in business and what professors to take and whatnot. What can you say about your guys' relationship?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously an awesome player. He's a good friend. And like anyone, whether it's him or anyone else that comes asking advice around here with any major, there's always someone willing to help out. I had a phone call, yesterday with Jake Ashton or 2 days ago, and he was asking me about the grad program that I'm in and whether he should kind of pursue graduate school or double major. And so there's always someone that's willing to help you out, and that's something that when I first got here, I looked to the older guys like Mark Brzezinski at the time, who's just a stud in the classroom, and so he kind of helped mentor me, and so try to take on that role with some younger student athletes.
Can you walk us through the 52-yarder? It looked like at one point they were going to go for it and then call a timeout, and next thing we know, you're out there kicking a 52-yarder to tie it up. What was that whole scenario like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a blur. I'll try to walk you through it as best I can. But I stick to a pretty good routine during games as far as, kind of sitting on the bench or getting up, doing some dry swings, getting on the bike. And so it's just kind of any normal routine. First down was sitting down, and then second down, got up and did a couple of dry swings. And, we called field goal alert. And obviously I wasn't sure if we were going to kick it or if we were going to go for it. Opted to go for it, which, fully support that decision too. And then called timeout. And we ended up calling timeout twice. And on the second one, I was sitting on the bench because, kind of that mentality, being around for 5 years, never to think that you're not kicking. Especially last week, we were planning on going for it on the 48-yarder, and then they went in the timeout, and then they called field goal. So you always have to be ready. And so all of a sudden, I think it was Brad that I heard was yelling, Matt, and I saw Wilcox walking over, and before he could even say anything, I just put a thumbs up, just telling him I was going to make it. And so he's like, all right. The second I gave him the thumbs up, he's like, we're kicking it, let's go. And then after that, it's just a routine field goal, whether it's 52 yards or not, it's all the same kick, and, grateful that it went in, happy that I could do my part for the team.
What's the conversation like pregame? Coach was telling us you guys have a discussion about how you're feeling that day, how far you think you can hit it. What's that conversation like? Yeah,
we absolutely have a discussion. So it's kind of after all the warm-up, and we talk about, what do you feel comfortable with? What's your 80% range? And then say we're at the end of a half or end of game situation, what's the furthest that you think you can hit? And largely it stays the same for most of the games, and it also changes during the game, so we kind of check back a couple times, and that's why, he'll come up to me at certain points and be like, oh, you feel good from here, even if it's a different distance than we'd given originally. So it's always good to be on the same page, and he has a lot of confidence in me, and I have a lot of confidence in myself, so, it's a good marriage.
You've kicked in altitude before. How much does that affect the number you're going to tell him?
It won't all that much. He'll know that it'll be that'll be a difference. But I'm not going to go and be like, hey, we're feeling good from 63, because, there's no point in going out and saying oh, we're going to kick a bunch of 63-yarders, because at the end of the day, it's not going to be what's best for the team. So, it'll be a couple yards further, but mostly routine field goals.
You hit a 62, I think, high school, way back.
My long in practice is 70, but it's it's different in games, and that 52-yarder was hit pretty well, and so it just kind of depends, what the situation is, and at the end of the day, like I said, all the kicks are the same. So
I was going to ask about that. Do you ever look back at the stuff like that, like the 52-yarder, and be like, man, that would have been good from 63?
Not so much me. A lot of people tell me when I came off the field, a lot of people were like, that was going. I had a lot of distance to spare, but not thinking about that too much. You try not to get focused on one kick, whether it's a miss or a make. You approach every kick differently, and you don't let one influence the other. Kind of what Coach talks about, after the Washington State game is like, great win, but we're not going to let that one win define us. Or after the loss, we're not going to let that loss define us. And it's the same with kicks. I'm not going to let that make, define my next kick, and I'm not going to make a miss define my next kick. So it's really every kick is just an individual act.
You mentioned you like going on the road. You're one of the few guys on this team that's been in a win in a Pac-10 or Pac-12 road game. What do you guys need to do to get back to that place where you guys win on the road in conference?
Well, I know Garen touched on it. Every Pac-12 team's great. And so every week any team in the Pac-12 conference can win. And so I don't know if it's necessarily, just a road thing. But I enjoy going on the road. I know a lot of people enjoy going on the road, and we just, have to stay within our game plan, execute our assignments. Full confidence, offense will do a great job, defense will do a great job, and, on special teams we'll handle our business. So not worried about it. I think we can go out and get a win this week.
It's a little bit misleading because as I was telling some of the other guys, you guys have won bowl games and went to other continents and won, so it's not like you can't travel and win, right?
Yeah, we've done a fair amount of traveling. Yeah, I think Australia would classify as that.
That's a road game, right?
Yeah, certainly. I think it counted as a home game on our schedule, but that was obviously a fun opportunity to get to travel and just, traveling anywhere in the Pac-12 conference, beautiful cities, beautiful stadiums, fun atmosphere, so it's always a good environment.
Is all good?
All right, thank you.
All right.